top of the hour here. And good morning to everyone. Mr. Carter, have not seen you in
Hey,
a
good morning.
while.
I've been here every time. What are you talking about? Every single time. Ben will tell you. He
That's
knows
true.
because I always pop in and talk about our lack of Discord that I didn't know about, but apparently we have one. I still don't believe it.
It
Quick,
was the background. That was the thing that
It's the
threw me.
background. Yeah,
Yeah.
quick question,
I
guys, since we're
gotcha.
still not officially on SaaS Alerts time, because I haven't heard the recording going, but
It's recording.
what? Oh, whoops. So,
You lose.
does everyone use Microsoft Authenticator for their Microsoft accounts, or do other people just use your passwords managers 2FA capability?
I do the authenticator.
Because I'm going through some reason my MDM management on my iPhone and my personal account. So I'm having to go through about 70 accounts in my Authenticator and logging into each of them to rescan and do all the baloney because they all show up as red,
Yeah.
pending, and it's a pain in the behind. And I know it backs up to the cloud, but since the business profile and the personal profile got screwed up, so I was just thinking of going just to Keeper and just using Keeper for it.
I can say that having, gone through onboardings, I see people going through this a lot. It's all over the map, Enrique. I know people that are absolutely using their authenticator.
I
Um,
love it. It's just this
and,
pain in the behind.
and I know people that have gone to Keeper and all of that. So yeah.
And then there's two. So times two.
Oh
No,
boy. You
yeah,
got two phones? What up, Kevin Gates?
Yeah. Plus the
I
old
went.
iPhone, I need to return, but I can't until I empty it all out of all these passwords and configs that I'm not locked out. Actually managed to lock myself out. If it wouldn't have been for SIP, I've been screwed. Locked myself out of one of the tenants with
Nice.
this.
Nice. Yeah, no, I went to a dual SIM phone a long time ago and I never looked back. It's just easier.
They each have dual SIM.
Jesus.
Something tells me your life is going to be a little more complicated than most, Enrique. It's the price of
Yeah,
being famous.
He does it to
I
himself.
I do. I do. That's not no question about that.
God.
Gentlemen, ladies, everyone, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. And to those of us who are watching this on YouTube, hello to our friends down under, because I know we've got some fans of Enrique down there. Um, oh, we got a couple people still bopping in. Um, Nothing really great top of mind here. There's a couple of things that I think Ben wanted to show off about some new coming features about conditional access. Um, but to fire off, does anybody have anything top of mind? Any questions that we want to jump into from your side?
Any way to tell you guys I'm doing all this 70 account thing, so I'm not getting 70 managed SaaS alert tickets over here telling me something funny's going on.
Suppression, bro.
Well, it's just a one-time thing, or hopefully.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we've had a lot of people. They haven't really kept up with their whitelisting so much, especially per accounts. So we're running into that a lot. And we have people that are not responding, and our ticket system just going, okay, we're going to bug you until you respond because we can't. I've told our guy, I've had our guy say, can we just change that? And I said, well, if you change it and you're wrong, we're responsible. If we don't change it, we just bug the crap out of them until they respond, then
That's the
it's,
way it should be.
yeah.
It's on
And
us.
yeah, exactly. And we don't, and it's a funny thing, we don't even expect people to do it. We just say, hey, yes, this is normal. No, this is not. And then we'll take care of it. But it's an uphill battle.
I
I,
love your tickets, like I said last Thursday.
I told our guys, I said, I just came to a realization this morning. I said, I'm from an MSP background where open tickets are bad. You close your tickets, you get your tickets closed, and you low ticket counts are good because you're doing your job. But with us, it's not so much that we're always going to have a bunch of tickets open. And I said, what I care about is your response to those tickets. If you respond and you've done your job, then you have done your job, and that's all I ask. Because my brain's thinking, I got 50 tickets open. I need to close these suckers. So it's a completely different mindset that I'm having to change. So
And you're saying that you're going to someday achieve zero inbox as well, or you've given up on that?
No, I have only 8 unread items, so I'm actually pretty good on that. So
Excellent.
I can
Excellent.
control small things in my life. Okay.
A rather successful CEO I know, he absolutely will not go to bed until he has zero inbox.
Ugh.
It's his policy. So, um, Enrique, are you a zero inbox guy?
And then I have directors of other companies of mine that have 8,000 unread.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
why are you on all these group emails? What's the purpose? They're
Oh yeah.
unread.
Uh, Ben, anything
Yes.
you want to bubble up from your side of the house, either about managed or about conditional access?
Oh, sure. Why not? Unless anybody else has any questions.
Yeah, can you make Microsoft stop or actually start sending data to you guys? Because this hour-long uh, delay is killing me.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Killing me.
actually something that we talked about in our meeting yesterday.
Team meeting. Yeah, we got a
Yeah.
weekly stand up with our dev team.
So we're making a change that should hopefully increase that pretty significantly.
Oh, good, good. Because I definitely had at least one that I know of. I had a compromise that would have been stopped immediately by a respond rule, but it took I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes for the ticket to even be created
Right.
after the
Yeah.
incident. So yeah, I was like, well, you know, does
Well,
doesn't work that well if it doesn't get the
uh,
info from Microsoft.
It's true.
and David, I don't think you're alone. I think there are a lot of people putting pressure on Microsoft over this, because it's like Google, 30 minutes, take it or leave it. It's always the same.
All, oh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's like a metronome. It's as regular as clockwork, but it's a 30-minute window. So,
Jesus.
um, so I now that that bar has been set, I'm hoping Microsoft will at least try to match that or something because yeah, this is getting to be a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. I was hoping it wasn't just me.
No, no, it's not. You are your own special snowflake, but
Yes, I am. Yes,
then
queen.
what are we looking at?
So that I don't know if you guys were on the SASE call. I assume most of you are, but the dynamic conditional access policy that we rolled out a couple days ago is live in production. And I wanted to show you guys just quickly about how it works and how effective it is. So just search for dynamic. It should show up as long as you have, I think it is, what is it, like a P1 or whatever, where you can create conditional access policies. And this one will update every 24 hours. It pulls from our database of IP addresses that have been caught doing bad things. The queries that we have in our database are automatic. It's not a manual process that we're adding IP addresses one by one. So I think right now our count was 600 or something like that of IP addresses that go into this conditional access policy. And since it has a 30-day window of IP addresses, it's not going to just constantly be adding to that and then reaching that limit. So after 30 days, they kind of expire because people move on, threat actors move on. Even 30 days is probably a long time for a typical threat actor. But the list will update for you guys every 24 hours. I wanted to show you how to apply it. Very easy, same thing, hit apply. But before you do it, edit the customization for this guy and make sure that you enter some exclusions. Obviously, you might want to put your IP address in there, especially if you have a static one at the office or home. You can do, looks like 4 and 6, as well as a range. Just make sure it says is not one of these. You can also do users and groups if you want to add your admins or directory roles. Any questions there? Local admins, maybe? Oh, neat. Cool. So when you do apply it, it'll add it into your normal little conditional access policy here. It'll show up as the Fortify block known compromised IP addresses. It's a very, very basic policy that uses a known networks, and that's the list that we update. And so when it sees that, it just pretty much just blocks them. We are testing out the required token protection as well. That is in there, but unless I'm doing it wrong, I've been able to still tokens pretty effectively, even with this policy in place, but not so
How does that
much.
work? The token protection.
Yep, it's a new thing. It's in preview. It's basically it's the required token protection for sign in, and it looks for certain I think like operating system. Someone else might know a little bit more about it, but it looks to see if if it's Windows and or a mobile device. It also it's basically it's Microsoft's attempt to protect its tokens. Like I said, it's not been very effective for me. From what I've read, even if it is able to stop the sign in from happening, the username and password of the person filling out the information will still be captured. So even if you can get this working 100%, you're still going to have someone with a compromised password. I do want to show you guys one thing here. David says he has one with 46. Well, I mean, you can expand it a little bit.
It's a start. It's a start.
Yeah, it is a start.
Well, I went through every compromise that I've had, and thank you guys for having great records, because I can go back as far as I want.
Year.
So I went
Go
through
back a
everything.
year.
Yeah, I mean, which is when it started, basically.
Got it.
So yeah, I went through every compromise that we had, and I pulled every single IP from the listing that that were used. So I put them all in a captive. I think it's stopped at least 4 or 5 attempts so far. So hey, I mean, stopping one is worth it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
True.
I haven't forgotten you, Peter.
All right, so you guys should recognize this. Evil Jinx running in the background, Evil Genex if you're like me and think it should be called that. We're just going to basically, I'm going to pop in that URL that I generated for this phishing attack. So this is using the conditional access policy of the dynamic IP addresses. So I want to show you kind of what happens here. So I'm going to pop in my username. I'm going to pop in my password. And when I go to sign in, I'm going to get this. This still captures your username and password. So now that password's burned. So if they do fall for this sort of thing, and you can maybe, teach your clients to recognize this, is if they do fall for it, then unfortunately that password is now, it's known. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to some other site and try, all the banking sites or Facebook or Instagram. But it did block it, at least. That's good from accessing that. And that goes on the assumption that we know of that token theft server and or the person that's trying to access it that's already maybe stolen the token. That's possible that it might block them, but I will say that that's pretty good as far as the whole battle. It's definitely a small victory, but one that it seems to be effective.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. It's good to know that we're making small progress and that Microsoft, if you poke them enough times, might actually make a change. Very cool.
Yeah, and that other token protection thing that requires, I think, like I think it's what is like P2 or something. It's a pretty high requirement for, especially for like something that I think should be given away at the free level.
Yeah, Microsoft charging extra to make you secure. Shocked to
secure their stuff. But there is a couple as we grow, when we see more indicators of compromise and ones that we can identify and be 99 to 100% sure that these are definitely bad guys, then we will add those queries to our our database, and we'll add those IP addresses. And we're also looking at, potentially pulling third-party IP addresses in there as well. We just need to make sure that doesn't go too crazy.
Mr. Enrique.
Sorry, I was trying to get my little thing to recognize myself. I always have to go like an Indian here. So a couple of questions. The first one before I forget, when we onboard a new customer, because I finally onboarded, I broke my like 7-month streak of no new customers last week or the week before. When we onboard a new customer, Ben, do we have to let you know, or you guys automatically do that or see that? Or
I'll automatically see it.
okay, perfect.
Only
Now,
thing
the
you
next,
need to make sure that you've done is connect for us respond. And Enrique is referring to managed.
correct. Yes, sorry, on the
No
managed
problem.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
configured everything and stuff, turned on,
Mhm.
I think everything. So perfect.
If you don't need to know, you don't need to let us know. We'll
Okay.
see it. And yeah.
The next thing, how complicated is it to set up the Evo Gen X? I've been playing with different passwordless tools,
Yeah.
like Trateware, IDMium, and some others, and I'm trying to find a way of minimizing or eliminating that risk. Everyone keeps on telling me the token's a token, and there's no way to not have it stolen if you fall for one of these tricks. But I'm trying to either design or find the way to make the token bulletproof or have no token. So is it complicated to set them up?
The server? Not really. It depends on your knowledge of Linux, but there's a lot of
Is there
instruction.
hosted Evo
No.
as a SaaS?
And there is I'm sure you could find one on the dark web, but nothing that you would be able to just to fire up. But like I said, if you do want to take some time, and there's a couple of instruction guides on there on how to do it. I think I've released one as far as building the server, and essentially what it requires is you to have and preferably an internet hosted server, which can cost you as little as like $20 a year, and then a domain name, which could cost you maybe 99 cents. The rest of it is just a little bit of time.
Okay,
Excellent.
perfect. Thanks.
Absolutely. Peter, Mr. Simon, have not seen you in a while. Good to see you pop in. You had a question about permanent logging. Help me understand your use case. What's going on?
Yeah, so good morning. I know it's been a while. I'm having a crazy hair day this morning. And thank you. I have a partner that's asking about logging in an enterprise environment because from what he has seen, is that there's no way to check logs for any changes that were made by the admin. Is that true, or is there any way that the system retains permanent logs, even if I'm the super admin, do make changes?
Are
Do
you
the
talking
best. Yeah,
server?
go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say, are you talking like 365 or like more like host like machines on-prem?
Uh 365 and the other SaaS applications, because I know that this doesn't work with on-prem. But let me just go to it real quick. I apologize. It caught me almost by surprise. I thought you were going to text me the answer, but I'll have to go to it real quick.
Yeah, if it's an admin user operating in Azure, we capture that like what every other user does.
Mhm.
And it's not a permanent capture either in Microsoft or in our world, but anything that we capture will be in the logs and available for 365 days, so for a calendar year.
So here's
So
the,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
it's
sorry.
exportable. I was
So
gonna say, and it's exportable as well. We could either
it's
export it into a report into like a CSV, or you can also pull it via our API to back it up if you need it longer than a year.
Here's the question. Actually, I have it verbatim. There is no workflow for approving changes before they are made, so they won't pass an audit for change control using the solution. They have an audit trail and logs of who did what, but that's not what companies of a certain level of maturity must demonstrate. Say like for SEC, NYDFS, FTC, FCC, and so on. So is there a change management approval process is a question.
Oh.
Not in our platform. That would be something separate. That's in parallel. It's like you've got a light switch on the wall. I can tell you who threw the switch, but who approved that guy to go throw the switch? That's outside of our purview. It's outside of our scope.
Got it. So it'd have to have, okay.
Yeah.
Is this the first question you've ever received like this? The first,
I got to say, it's been a while. It's been a while, Peter. That's why I appreciate you bringing that up because Chad, it's just change management is something that we watch the dev guys deal with it constantly. It has to go through 13 steps of approval and all this stuff, but Microsoft isn't capturing any of that. And so basically it's what is Microsoft telling us? It's that something your guy is not incorrect, that somebody logged in, made a change. Who authorized that change? Was there someone who had to approve that change? That's not built into the system,
so it
to
comes
the
back
best
to,
of my knowledge. Yeah.
I think that answered the question then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's a great question, actually. Mr. Brian, what's up, Austin?
Not much. So I just wanted to share, I think a month ago I had said that risky activities was really noisy and was alerting me on authentication failures. But I went back after I said that and I realized that most of those were password leaks. And it was authentication failures where basically it was failing because the person didn't have an MFA code, but it wasn't failing because it was a wrong password. And so I just wanted to encourage everyone to, turn on a rule. It's mentioned somewhere in Discord that looks for risky activities. And then if you investigate it and you see that it's an authentication failure, I would not assume that it's nothing, but like look at the reason why it failed and like the method. And if it's, method MFA and it failed there, then, it's probably a leaked password.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
solid pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer that Microsoft makes you pay so much to get P2 to get that information too, because that's one of the only alerts it really enriches is a risky activity. So if any
Yeah,
of
it's
you
very
have,
manual,
yeah,
but it's worth it. And so the other thing I wanted to say was that I've learned that um, keep me signed in. Like if that comes up as a failure about half the time um, in the logs. And so uh, basically I've gone back and on a lot of my rules where it's like if it's a success and the user agent is, insert sketchy user agent here, or if these things are happening, I've gone in and I've said if it's a success, and then I've had basically added a second chunk, and if it says that it's an expected part of the workflow, and I'll copy and paste it in the chat here in just a second. Then and then it has the sketchy work agent basically alert me on it, and I realized that and I turned that on, and within a day I caught a session theft happening in real time and was able to through automation lock them out within 5 minutes. So anyway, would really encourage people to make use of this. So basically authentication failure, and then anyway, so I'll just post in the chat. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
appreciate it, Austin.
Thank you.
No, that's solid. Yeah, some good questions today. Appreciate that, guys. Anybody else? And there it is. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. Excellent. Um, anything else top of mind for anybody? Any questions? Hi, Enrique.
So does anybody implement the practice of using a different login than the email? It won't stop like an Gen X because obviously you're typing it in, but at least when you register your email on different sites or tools, the email does not correlate to the login itself. So email enrique.resendez@onemsb.com. Login Enrique is awesome at onemsb.com.
No.
I
Be
think
effective, I
you're,
guess, during like a brute force kind of thing if someone was hitting your
Yep.
specific email address.
And that way, or when they fish stuff and they find your email and a password, well, the email is not the actual login.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh,
Defense in depth.
absolutely.
I've actually been testing using the passwordless configuration
Mhm.
and how it relates to single sign-on for any application that's present. And by using a registered device and the Microsoft Authenticator passkey,
Mhm.
been able to make it to where not even presented. So not asked for a password, email
Yeah.
address, and immediately pops up with a familiar MFA prompt and you enter the number and
Yeah, the passwordless signers from Microsoft Authenticator.
yep.
Yeah, I use that as well. I haven't, that's one of the tools I wanted to try with with Ben's hosted Evil Gen X and see what it sees in that sort of environment.
Sure. Always here. If you want to try something out, just let me know. I can make some time for you.
Definitely. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think yeah, there's many tools like that, but that's my question when you're using passwordless with Authenticator, what can they steal?
Right.
So
That was one of the ideas of
yeah.
having the session protection around it, was being able to enhance that token protection by utilizing a registered device and the passwordless configuration. So I have the same curiosity as you do as to whether that actually is a reasonable protection or not.
My dumb answer says yes, but that's just a gut feeling, not a technical one.
I
So,
think the key is that it requires that it be a registered device.
Correct.
yeah.
So that way, if the third party doesn't have a registered device in your tenant for your user, then they get blocked.
Well, that was what I thought too. But I'm like, I ran that through that specific policy. Like I signed in from a registered device, like a normal user would, and then I took my token and I fired up a random Linux machine and popped it in. Was able to immediately be on there without any sort of issue at all. That's why I'm meeting with another MSP this afternoon, and we're going to test out some things that they've been trying. But I'll let you guys know. And if
But you tried it with using the passwordless sign-in and Authenticator?
so I know a couple of things that would work. Passkeys with a mobile app, when the thing that I don't know if it's still in preview, that does work. You don't get anything, you don't get username or you don't get password, you don't get token with Evil Gen X. Just passwordless with an authenticator, you're still going to get the token, which is really the only thing I care about as a bad guy. I'm going to grab that token. I'm going to go up and I'm going to set my new MFA method, so I don't need yours anymore. But if you are using passkeys, then you're not going to get anything, which is effective both with basically the passkeys turn your phone into kind of like a FIDO device, which also works to keep yourself safe. Hope that makes sense. So like this is my FIDO key right here. That works fine. It was like $20 on Amazon.
I wish I would have gotten the NFC version.
Yeah, I mean, YubiKeys work. They will do FIDO and they do OTP, one-time password. If you are only looking for FIDO, then you can get a much cheaper solution. But YubiKey is awesome, but they're like $50 a key, so just depends on how much your client can stomach that.
When it's one employee like me.
Yeah, well, definitely that. Oh, yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, I got my YubiKeys around here somewhere. I got like 3 or 4 of them, one for each room, just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when you're dealing with like when I was an MSP, we had a pretty big organization. It was probably 40 or 50 people, and it was like, hey, we get you this key, and it's gonna be $50 a pop. It was like, so
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. Thanks for that. I didn't know that there was a FIDO only, low rent options.
Oh yeah, totally. I think Google makes one too. But the FIDO keys, like the one that I have, won't work with like LastPass, right? So, but YubiKey does work with LastPass. I think it's because you register your device, your YubiKey with the YubiKey servers, and that makes it so that LastPass will work with that. So
You shouldn't be on
Right.
LastPass, but
no, but I don't know. If, I'm on personally. I use Bitwarden. I'm not sure if it's the same way for them or not.
As much as as much as I hate to say this, but in LastPass's defense, um, I've talked to them and they've quietly implemented passwordless now. Hopefully that the rest of their product is more secure after being breached twice, but they've adopted their passwordless.
Yeah, yeah. I think I hope they've learned their lesson.
Yeah.
A question about that before I drop off. I apologize, I'm late for my other meeting. But with the Unify module, and forgive me, I'm not overly technical, but with the Unify module, if you're using something like passwordless, whether it be YubiKey 502 Alliance, does that look for that device, your mobile device, or do you still need to have an RMM for Unify to work properly?
RMM is what the Unify leverages. So yeah, it's looking to talk to your RMM system. There's nothing else we can do. Peter, give me 6 months, and I might have a different answer with what we're pulling out of Microsoft and the enter device ID, and we could doing some interesting stuff there. But I don't want to promise that any sooner. So,
Okay, great. I'll tell my prospect to wait 6 months. Thank you.
all right, take care, Peter.
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, but had a couple folks jump in late. Anybody have any questions? Anything top of mind? Because we're running out of steam here, guys. It's been a good conversation, but I don't think we got a lot else.
we always have a lot.
Just have to remember those questions, figure out which post-it note you wrote it down on.
Is there a knowledge base of shared conditional access policies that people have tested that work for different scenarios?
No, but that is something that I'm hoping to see built out, either on Discord or on the platform itself, kind of like the community templates. So I look forward to seeing your contributions there, John.
All right. Fair.
MSA will be putting together templates that should be on the system that for everybody to use, and because we want everybody to benefit, not just MSA customers. We want everybody to be able to use them. The difference between MSA versus non-MSA will just be the kind of like the application and customization and hand holding that goes along with that. So
Excellent. Excellent. I look forward to seeing that populated.
on my
And then
to-do list.
Well, guys, if that's it, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time. Always a pleasure. Thanks for bringing up some great ideas and asking some solid questions. Hope you all have a great week. And for anybody that's in harm's way down in Florida, we'll be thinking of you.
Thank you,
Hey,
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Florida guys, stay safe. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Now too. Bye, guys.